Welcome back. No jobs data out tomorrow because of the government shutdown, but the ADP numbers this week have traders expecting the central bank to continue to cut rates, and another cut coming at this month's meeting. After yesterday's September ADP number showed 32,000 decline in private sector payrolls. This is a second straight monthly decline. August jolts show job openings ticking up while hiring pulls back, which is consistent with a softening labor market. Joining me now is the chairman of Korn Ferry, vice chairman of Korn Ferry, Alan Guarino. Alan, I almost gave you a new title there.
I know, I don't need the promotion.
Thank you so much for being here, Alan. Give us your sense of the jobs picture today, because we're not getting the jobs number tomorrow.
Well, the jobs number we know for the last year or two has been a little bumpy. That report we get is called the CES report. So it's fast, but it's noisy. It's collected in 30 days, and it's typically been getting data from less than 45% of the companies that are required or asked to report. About 119 businesses report from about 600 different locations. So that's where the data comes from. Now, the good news is that it gets revised every 30 days. And so by 90 days from that number, we're at a fairly accurate number, because by then the other 50% of companies have fully reported. So that's why we get a quick number that we can look at, but we can't rely on. The QCEW number, which is lags by 6 or 7 months, is more accurate. So what we know now is we have a growing job market. I would predict we're growing at maybe 30 to 50,000 jobs over the last 12 months, if we look back, right?
Okay.
This chart on the QCEW shows you clearly that in 23 and 24, we grew jobs.
Yeah.
You can look at the numbers. QCEW actually won't be fully reported till mid-2026 for 2025, but that's a fairly good prediction right there of what QCEW will come in and show us. So we're going to have job growth. I think we're in a smart job growth market. Smart growth.
What does that mean, and where would you say the jobs are today?
Jobs today are in places where people touch clients. So the AI revolution, and by the way, when we go back to the 90s, the tech revolution, we did pretty well, right? Jobs were replaced, but more jobs were created as a result of the technology. So I'm still optimistic. So the other point to make is we're adding 50,000 jobs a year, but we're having GDP growth that is far in excess of what was in the 2010s. So what does that mean? It means we're getting more work done with less people. Those people are more productive. But as companies do more with less, they get much more profitable, which means they put that money back in. I think we're going to have significant job growth fueled by the productivity increases. That's my view.
Now, the jobs have largely been in healthcare. They've been in technology. So I wonder if that's going to continue. I mean, October marks the start of a new fiscal year.
Right.
That means that the government can approve roughly 85,000 new H-1B visa applications. President Trump is increasing H-1B petition fees to $100,000 each. Startups and mid-sized firms want to employ AI, engineering, and healthcare jobs, and they say would feel the squeeze the most with that increase in fees.
Sure. The good news is the increase in fees really impacts next year. So the way the visa program works is you typically apply in March. So March of 2025 is when most of these folks applied. They were at full capacity on those applications. The government knew they were going to fill 85,000 visas based on the demand. So good news is you have a year to plan if you're a small business and you do the H-1 visa program to supplement your staff. Right now, I'm a net believer that H-1 visas are very net positive for growth. Think about it. We have 6-7 million open jobs in America every day. A lot of those jobs are jobs that require skills we don't have. Guess what? The H-1 visa people have those skills.
Which skills? Which skills don't we have that the H-1B visa applicants have?
Actually, there are skills that these folks bring that are highly specialized in various types of engineering.
Okay.
And as a result, when that company gets that person and they get that work done, then the company obviously hires more people around that person to do the tertiary work. Well, so visas are a good thing in terms of growing jobs. and a great strategy for our Department of Labor.
So long as, for example, the Chinese Communist Party doesn't exploit the number of visas, because they have been exploiting this process and putting surveillance measures into it. But that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
AI is driving productivity gains. There's no doubt about it. That's what we're seeing across the economy. But people are worried that nearly every job is changing, and that could slow the pace of new job creation. What are the skill sets that we need to actually thrive in this new AI world? You're seeing AI reshape the workforce in a big way.
Absolutely. So let's look at the place where people are feeling the most threat, and that's the engineering side of the house. You look at the conversations that have been out there from people like Benioff at Salesforce that's talking about the engineers being somewhat disintermediated. The good news is this stuff doesn't happen overnight. They just need to move up the stack. So look at managerial roles that are designing how we deploy AI into the workflow. Okay, that brilliant engineer that used to write code can do that job. There will be thousands of jobs added to the organization to figure out how we're going to take this raw tool that's yet to be refined and deploy it in the company. That's going to take years, right? So I think there's a lot of opportunity for those engineers that are feeling threatened to just move up the stack. So in terms of the engineering, threat.
Is there a skill set that we need to be aware of that we need in this new era? Should everybody be comfortable with using, for example, Grok or ChatGPT at this point? Everybody
should be using an AI tool today. I talk to people about this all the time. Remember the flip phone?
Yeah.
Okay, if you used a flip phone and you didn't use an iPhone until 2014, wow, you had a hard time, right? Because the iPhone had been around since 2007. So you have to stay abreast and using these new technologies, because it's hard to learn them from ground zero to 10 years later. So incrementally grow your skills and use these tools. But I think the most important thing, and it's not going to be comfortable for everybody, these technologies are not going to replace humanity. So EI, emotional intelligence, is critical. So work on your soft skills, your people skills. Build the network of people around you that can help you, advance your career. And not everybody does that, but it's a very important thing. So EI is really important in the age of AI. Yeah, and that's what you meant, I think, at the beginning when you said the jobs will be where the jobs that touch people. Absolutely. Emotional. Alan, great to get your insight on all of this. Thank you. Love being here. Thanks. Good stuff. Alan Guarino. Stay with us. We'll be right back.